I have a guest who is standing by on the Miller Lite Jersey Central Newsmaker hotline, and she's the executive director of a group that is going to be making the rounds across the country, including a stop in New Jersey that's going to be happening in the middle of December. We'll give you all the information on where they're going to be. But let's get some information about the very important mission of this group. They're called Wreaths Across America, and I really love what they do. And my guest with me this morning to talk about what's going to be happening when they come to Jersey and what the mission of this group is. I have the executive director. Her name is Karen Worcester, and she's with us here on WCTC. Good morning, Karen. It's Bert Barron. How are you?
Good morning. I'm wonderful. It's good to be with you this morning. Where I was listening to what you were saying about Christmas trees. And, we're up here this morning in Maine. It's really freezing. It's actually freezing, and that whole industry up here. We're out here in the woods getting ready. We're starting the season. Today is actually a big start up here.
Yeah, I believe it. And our temperatures really took a dip over the weekend here in Jersey, so we're getting ready as well. But the work that Wreaths Across America does, Karen, and I want to talk about when you come to New Jersey in December. But first, just kind of an overview of what the mission of Wreaths Across America is all about and what makes it so special.
Well, Wreaths Across America is a 501c3 with the mission to remember the fallen, honor those that serve, and I think the most important is to teach our kids the value and the cost of freedom. And the biggest event that we do is our wreath laying, which will be December 15th this year, and we will be at 1,500 locations all over the country, wherever veterans are buried, as well as 26 offshore cemeteries. And we come together to say the names, and as people place the wreaths, we emphasize that we don't decorate graves. We're there to place these personal gifts. The largest amount of our mission that comes from individuals who have paid $15 to have a wreath placed for them because they can't be there at their loved one's graves. We say their names, and we connect people with heritage and history, which is so important. And so, yes, we are coming through New Jersey. We have many locations there, and we take that caravan. It takes us a week. We leave Maine, and we end up, the caravan, at Arlington National Cemetery. But at the same time, there are donated trucks taking wreaths all over the country. So we can come together on that day to, celebrate being Americans and celebrate what we have in common for a minute instead of all the diversity. So it's so important to remember who we are.
Yeah, we all love freedom, don't we, Karen? But sometimes we forget how we got here. But to remember our veterans and take care of veterans across the country is just remarkable. How many years has Wreaths Across America been doing this?
Well, we've been laying wreaths as a family. The Worcester family, who founded Wreaths Across America, started laying wreaths in 1992, and we did that up through 2005 as a family. We took 5,000 wreaths every year to Arlington National Cemetery and placed them, and we knew how it made us feel. It gave us pause to remember, to thank those who served, sacrificed, veterans or those who died in service, and to take pause and be grateful that we live in a country where we can be in a business, and we can raise our children free, and we can raise them in the mindset that we want to raise them. So in 2005, some pictures were taken by a photographer from the Pentagon, and it went viral on the Internet. And I'll tell you, our family was inundated with literally thousands of people who thought this was such a great idea that they could use to teach their children, that they could take pause during the holiday to say thank you. So in 2007, the 501c3 was founded, and last year we placed over 1.5 million wreaths. We're on track to do between 1.8 and 2 million this year.
Wow. 2
million volunteers. A third of those volunteers are kids. And it's an American spirit that you don't hear too much about. Like I said, it's especially in election times, the diversity. And it is so good to see people come together and something we can agree on, and that is that we are free. It came at a great cost, and the least that we can do is take care of our freedom. And the best way to take care of something that precious is to help our kids understand about the people, about the character of those who serve, and how it's our responsibility to make sure that we appreciate that going forward, so it will always be taken care of.
There's no question, Karen, and I have to remind people sometimes that, you know what, not every country in the world that you get to fly a balloon that makes fun of the president. And you try this in some other countries in the world, you'll find yourself in prison for years and years and years. So you have to appreciate the freedoms that we get to enjoy every single day. And unfortunately, sometimes we forget and take advantage of these freedoms. But these veterans, we would not have anything without them. Was there a veteran in your family, Karen, that kind of got this started, or just kind of a kindness of your heart?
No,
sort of thing?
my dad was in the Navy during World War II, but never talked about it much. And my husband has always been very patriotic. Did not serve. He was in school during the Vietnam era. Mm-hmm. And honestly, has just always been patriotic. And he had a surplus of wreaths in 1992, and he said, I'd like to do something meaningful. I'd like to say thank you, and got permission to go to Arlington. And what happened to him and the family is, as we were at Arlington, as my boys were at Arlington, and would place a wreath, you couldn't help but say the name. And that's where the tradition that we have at Wreaths Across America of always saying the name. And it made it so real. You can tell people, oh, we lost this many people in this conflict. We lost this many people here. When you stand at the headstone and you read the name of somebody who died at age 22, 23, 19, and realize that they gave up their future so that we could have today, so that we could be free, it really puts you in touch with who we are. And so it's all of the veterans. And as we grew the organization, we listened to the veterans, we listened to Gold Staff families, and we listened to what their message was, what they want people to know going forward. And that's why we make such a big deal about saying the names and teaching the character of an American citizen, because we're different.
You're right. It really hits home, like you said, when you're standing by a stone and you say, this was someone's son, this was someone's brother, this was someone's friend that made the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms and left the rest of us behind here to have the freedoms that we enjoy every day. It's just an incredible thing. Volunteers.
Yes, I will tell you about a volunteer if I can. One of you had asked about a veteran. Well, not a veteran, but somebody who lived their life in service to remember her brother. It was a lady from I think she was from Homestead. I could be wrong. She lived right in that area. Her name was Edith Knowles, and her brother, Bud Thorne, was a Medal of Honor recipient. He died during the Battle of the Bulge. And they lived on a farm there, and big family. I think it was like 12 kids or something like that. But she got a letter back from her brother, her family did, that all he wanted to do was come home for Christmas, and he was killed just a few days before Christmas in 1944. And she lived a lifetime talking about his memory and the hole that it left in the family, and the impact that it had on her family. And she touched so many lives. She served on a board of directors, and I'll tell you, the New Jersey area, the patriotism there is just heartwarming. And she led the way for us. She really introduced us into a lot of locations and a lot of schools, which is where we get the greatest opportunity. And her last step that she made on the convoy, she actually had a life-size cardboard cutout of her brother made, and it had his medal around his neck. And she took him into the schools and read that letter that he had written home about how he was happy to have served, but he just wanted to get home for the holidays. It really made people understand what sacrifice is. A life sacrifice is worth us remembering.
Absolutely, and it's good to hear that my fellow New Jerseyans, we care about our veterans, Karen, and it's glad to see that it continues and kind of spreads across the country there, which is wonderful. But volunteers, and if someone wants to sponsor a wreath for Wreaths Across America, how does that happen?
Well, you can go to wreathsacrossamerica.org, and there's quick donate places. But if you want to give locally, which you absolutely can, and I'm sorry, I did not look up the number, but we have, I know, at least 15 or so locations right in New Jersey. So you go to wreathsacrossamerica.org. You can give just in general to any cemetery, or you can look up a local cemetery. You can volunteer. We have a lot of locations. We have a lot of support right there in the area. And we will be coming through. The convoy will be coming through and making some stops there, so people will get a chance to come out and meet the convoy. The convoy is about 200 people strong.
Wow.
We're about 25 vehicles strong. We have a bus that's full of Gold Star families and veterans, and so many ways to volunteer. But everything is at wreathsacrossamerica.org. You also can follow us on Facebook.
All right.
And I can tell you, Oak Hill Academy in Lincroft, Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Homedale, and Montgomery High. We'll be stopping at those locations on the 12th.
All right. So it's all on the website, wreathsacrossamerica.org, Karen. Just go right there and get the info.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
All right.
We really appreciate
my
the support.
pleasure. Thanks for speaking with you. And I guess you're pulling for the Red Sox to win the World Series, right?
Yeah.
If I had a guess. All right. Thank you so much. Great to speak with you this morning, Karen, and for all the work that you and everyone does with Wreaths Across America. We thank you so much, and it was a real pleasure to speak with you today, okay?
Thank you.